everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again with another massive news update. First of all, we have news of a huge independent wrestling star who has apparently signed a 3-year deal with WWE, although we're going to take a closer look at that and see how reputable it is. Certainly, the source reporting it seems pretty damn confident. In other news, another title match has been announced for SummerSlam, and we take a look at Nia Jax's tweets during Monday Night Raw and what they could potentially mean, and whether that's in response to her recent absence from the show. So let's kick things off by talking about that huge global independent wrestling star, Matt Riddle, who, according to Ringside News, has signed a 3-year deal with WWE. Now, these are the first sort of news people to break the news. They're the first site, the first source to break the news, and they've said that this comes via 3 separate sources, all from either within the business itself or who are close to Matt Riddle. Now, immediately, quite a few people have jumped on this saying, no, it's not a true story. These guys are the same ones that falsely reported that Carmella was dating John Cena. But it's worth mentioning that the guys at Ringside News seem pretty confident in their article. They say, no, this comes via 3 sources, as I mentioned, and they all confirmed it independently of one another. Also, as Ross pointed out, Matt Riddle has been cancelling indie dates left, right and centre, mainly around the sort of time of SummerSlam weekend, which has led many, including the guys at Ringside News, to believe that he'll be in the crowd at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. But he has stepped in to replace Progress star Travis Banks for a Progress show in the States. Now, Progress, as we know, are one of the few UK promotions affiliated with WWE, so maybe that's an indication that yes, Riddle's loyalties do lie with WWE. He's cancelling this indie date, he's cancelling that indie date, but when it comes to stepping in to help out Progress, he's been allowed to do that. Very interesting indeed. It would certainly be very exciting to see Matt Riddle in a WWE ring, or in an NXT ring, I suppose, first of all. And yeah, if you've not seen him before, he's one of the best independent workers in the world right now. He's got an insane, intense MMA sort of style, a lot of strikes, a lot of big German suplexes and slams and that sort of thing, a lot of kicks. And he's just a very, very good professional wrestler. He obviously was a former UFC star, and it kind of seems to fit WWE's interest at the moment in people with legitimate fighting experience. Obviously, on the main roster at the moment, we have Ronda Rousey, one of the biggest UFC stars ever, Brock Lesnar, who's going to be returning to UFC, Bobby Lashley, who also has MMA experience, and the NXT Women's Champion is currently Shayna Baszler, another former mixed martial arts star. So Matt Riddle would certainly be in good company if he is indeed to join. In other news, another title match has been confirmed for SummerSlam, alongside such big matches as AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, and Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey, for example, for the Raw Women's Championship, but this one concerns the Cruiserweight belt. The champion Cedric Alexander is set to go one-on-one with Drew Gulak. Gulak last week on 205 Live won a 4-way match to become the new #1 contender, and then that match was confirmed, I believe, yesterday, just after Monday Night Raw. So we'll see Gulak versus Cedric. Both guys have been on pretty much a roll since the emergence of 205 Live as a strong contender for one of WWE's best shows. In terms certainly of in-ring action, Gulak has kind of sometimes ditched his more comedic persona and been a more ruthless, deadly in-ring competitor, and Cedric has been one of the best performers in 205 Live of recent months, maybe even 205's MVP of 2018. Cedric, of course, won the title at WrestleMania 34 in the final of the tournament for the vacant belt against Mustafa Ali, and since then he's been on a roll. He hasn't dropped the belt at all, but will he be able to cling on to it through SummerSlam? And finally, there were some interesting tweets made by Nia Jax during last night's Monday Night Raw, specifically in the immediate aftermath of the segment where Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox was announced for next week's Monday Night Raw. This would be Ronda Rousey's singles debut on Raw, and this sort of seemed to provoke a response from Nia Jax, although of course there's no way of confirming this because she could have just been tweeting about anything, but the timing of her tweets seemed to suggest that it was a comment on those goings on. So when Rousey versus Alicia Fox was confirmed for next week, Nia tweeted a couple of gifs, one of herself making kind of a whoa face, like while fanning herself, like a whoa, what's going on here, and another one of someone, I'm not sure who, sat in, it's probably someone famous, sat in a chair going like peace, and just sort of being all chilled about it. But you know, you could potentially detect a sarcastic edge to those posts. It's also worth mentioning that Nia's been absent for the past couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw, and we don't know why. Maybe she's just been sort of shuffled aside while other superstars come in and fill her role in the storyline as, of course, Ronda Rousey's big rival until Alexa Bliss cashed in and became the Raw Women's Champion. So I don't know when we'll next see Nia Jax, or if indeed this is a sign of unhappiness on her part, or maybe it's in kayfabe. You know, you can never take that out of account. You've always got to remember that wrestlers often tweet in kayfabe, and maybe she's just angling for another way back into the storyline. I don't know, but check those tweets out and see what you think for yourself. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching this news video. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. You can follow me on Twitter if you wish at Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic, and if you want to as well, you can pledge to our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And never forget, of course, to join us.